Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Whitney Ward.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
The Washington Nurses Union has called off plans for a strike today. The decision came after nearly 24 hours of negotiations with Providence hospitals.
According to the union, hospital board members canceled a proposal that would cut nurses' sick leave. KREM 2's Shayna Waltower joins us live in the newsroom tonight with more information on the decision. Shayna?
Yeah, guys, that's correct. Nurses are calling the decision to cancel plans for the strike, in fact, a relief. They say this decision from Providence marks one of the first major steps of progress from these negotiations.
It's been a roller coaster.
After months of negotiations with what seemed like very little progress,
we had one of our most productive set of discussions.
The mediation between the Washington State Nurses Association and Providence Sacred Heart started Thursday afternoon and went into the early morning hours of today. The union says its members were bargaining with the hospital board over three main issues: the rejection of a proposal from the hospital to decrease the amount of employees paid sick and vacation leave, improvements to awareness around violence in the workplace, which includes an increase in security and an increase in staffing. The union says in its latest negotiation, Providence removed the proposal to lessen the amount of paid leave.
Our response to that was to hit the pause button as it relates to our providing 10-day notice of a strike action.
Now that the proposal has been removed, that number is down to 2.
Our goal has never been to strike. Our goal has always been to reach a fair contract. And we feel like we're on the right path to do that.
They say a strike would only keep nurses and other employees from doing the work they were hired to do.
We came into nursing to provide care at the bedside for patients, especially those who are vulnerable, and we want to continue to do so.
Now, Providence sent us a statement saying their board is pleased to expedite the negotiation process. The next round of negotiations was initially set for Monday, but they've since been moved up to Sunday. In the newsroom, Shayna Waltower, KREM 2 News.
Shayna, thank you very much. Over on the west side of the state, nurses and caregivers at Swedish Medical Center, the largest healthcare provider in the Seattle area, have also postponed plans to strike. The union said it postponed its strike notice and will expedite bargaining with the management team at Swedish and its parent company, which is also Providence Health. Healthcare workers at Swedish say patient care problems have been worse due to severe understaffing since Swedish was taken over by Providence.
Well, get ready. The inland Northwest is expecting very windy conditions and more mountain snow this weekend.
Let's get straight to the man himself, Tom Sherry, joining us now. And Tom, will this weekend be good for skiers and boarders to hit the slopes?
I do think it will be good. I think Saturday, I'm going to be honest with you, I think you're going to deal with a lot of wind. So we'll see what happens with the gondola over at Silver Mountain. But I think by Sunday, we've got more, and even in Saturday, we're going to get plenty of mountain snow. And the Sunday, we're going to get a lot more snow in the morning, at least up in the mountains. But wind is going to be a real concern for us on Saturday. We have a wind advisory in effect overnight, 2 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wind out of the southwest, the wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. In some of the mountainous areas could be up to 55 miles an hour, and that includes everywhere you see kind of shaded in that kind of white right there. So be aware of that. Again, wind advisory for Saturday overnight and into the afternoon hours. Right now we're at 45 degrees. Wind is out of the south-southeast at 11 miles per hour. It is going to be another warm day tomorrow too, as we shoot for daytime highs into the 40s. Right now, the rain is all west of the Cascades, so it's dry east of the Cascades. We'll look for rain and snow to mix early tomorrow morning, 33 the low, 47 the expected high tomorrow, and then I think we'll see partly cloudy skies. I think Saturday, at least in Spokane, will be dry. As you head over into northern Idaho, look for more wet weather there with mountain snow. For the rest of the weekend, we'll look for snow or wet snow or even some snow mixing with rain on Sunday with a daytime high of 38 degrees. We'll check your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot. A train that crashed into a North Idaho river earlier this week is still in the water, and authorities aren't sure when they'll be able to get it out. That train derailed after it struck a rock slide near Bonner's Ferry. 2 crew members had to be rescued.
KREM 2's Taylor Vito has been tracking this story for us. He joins us with more on what happened today. Taylor?
Yeah, well, guys, there was progress. 2 of the 3 train engines that derailed were removed. One, as you mentioned, is still in the water, but the railroad says they expect to reopen the track tomorrow.
There are new images of the derailment that had authorities scrambling on Wednesday night.
This shot comes from a Border Patrol employee who was at the scene. It shows authorities rescuing the 2 railroad employees who were stranded on a train engine that crashed into the Kootenai River. They were stuck there for close to 2 hours after the train hit a rock slide about 10 miles east of Bonners Ferry. Today, Burlington Northern confirmed that the slide caused the crash, adding that the rock slide was 50 feet wide and 10 feet deep. BNSF brought in cranes and was expecting to remove 2 of the derailed engines today. But for now, this engine will remain in the water. There's no timeline on when it will be removed from the river's strong current.
Well, it's underwater, but we have the equipment, we have the personnel. It's just coming up with a plan with the various agencies on where we're going to. Are we going to take it to the railroad side? Can we move it on the other side? And all of that's under review right now.
The railroad continued to look for pockets of spilled diesel from the submerged engine on the river and place booms around them. We noticed fuel downriver in Bonners Ferry, but there is some good news. BNSF says crews are replacing track and the line should reopen tomorrow. It sees 40 trains a day, and county authorities say drinking water in Bonners Ferry and surrounding areas is not affected by the spill. And some of you also asked about Amtrak service. An Amtrak spokesman tells me they are not expecting any major delays. Trains heading to Chicago should operate normally, but trains coming from Chicago, to our area could be delayed in Montana. In the studio, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
Taylor, thank you. Big announcement for Spokane native Steve Gleason. Congress just announced the date he will receive the nation's highest civilian honor, the Congressional Gold Medal. Congress will award that medal to Steve on January 15th in a special ceremony on Capitol Hill. Steve earned that honor through his fight to raise awareness about ALS and improve the lives of ALS patients.
Before his ALS diagnosis, he played 8 years in the NFL after a standout career at WSU and Gonzaga Prep. He is the first former NFL player to receive the award. Other recipients of this medal include Rosa Parks, Thomas Edison, and the Dalai Lama. KREM 2 News is excited to send myself to Washington, D.C. on January 15th to cover the latest chapter in Steve's inspirational story.
What an incredible accomplishment.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
First ever former NFL player to receive this award.
It's just amazing.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. We're so proud of what he has done.
Absolutely. Looking forward to going there for the ceremony. All right, Karthik Venkatraman joining us now for sports. A big-time college basketball recruit is deciding if he's heading to Gonzaga.
Yeah, Jalen Suggs, he's a guard. He's ranked 6th overall by ESPN for overall recruits. If he commits to Gonzaga, highest ranked recruit ever to go and play for the Zags. And this guy is really good, a really good scorer, and the dude can throw down some dunks. Just check out this one, for example. Very athletic, and if you don't believe me, he also got Division I offers to play football as a quarterback too. It's a big deal for Suggs to come to GU. Much like this past offseason, we were worried about the guard depth with the Zags. Well, if he doesn't come, it could happen again. The Zags only have one guard returning next season that's playing right now. That's Joel Ayayi. So for that reason alone, the Zags are going to need him. If you have guards go, well, getting a top 10 recruit is a good way to go ahead and reload your class. Of course, the Zags are already going to be getting Dominic Harris. He's a guard that's ranked 60th overall by ESPN, so that'll definitely help with the backcourt situation. Both Suggs, Harris, really good friends, along with 69th ranked overall recruit by ESPN, Julian Strother, who's also coming to Gonzaga. So my point here is all three great friends, and they call themselves the Tricky Trio. So that's really big deal for them that they get together and they play some basketball.
For sure.
Harris, Strother, both have been really trying to get Suggs to come and play at GU. So I think that's something that's going to be a really big factor in swaying him to come over. Suggs is going to decide on ESPN2 a little after 6:30 whether he's going to play for the Bulldogs or not. And I just like to say, how neat is that on a national stage like that, a player could be committing to Gonzaga.
Amazing.
It really shows how far this program's come over the last 20
Obviously,
years.
Gonzaga's been a strong program for the last 20 years, ranked #1 right now currently. But now getting potentially these blue chip players.
Yeah,
that's kind of where we're
huge.
at.
Yeah,
all right,
definitely.
Karthik, keep us posted.
Yep, we'll do.
Thank you
Very
very
cool.
much. All right, a man who had been missing at the Grand Canyon for 11 days has been found alive. Martin Edward O'Connor of Texas is his name. That's a picture of him right there. He was found yesterday and floated out of the canyon in a helicopter. He is undergoing a medical evaluation right now.
So authorities haven't released any information on whether he was actually injured. One of the most remarkable things, though, is that he survived through incredibly wintry conditions. Rangers found O'Connor on the New Hants Trail, which is one of the most difficult trails on the canyon's south rim. Just amazing. Well, the Senate returned for its first session in the new year ahead of the pending impeachment trial for President Donald Trump. The House passed 2 articles of impeachment last month on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
The senator's role in an impeachment trial is nothing like the job of jurors in the legal system.
Senator Mitch McConnell right there suggested the question of calling witnesses should be settled after a trial has already begun.
He's essentially proposing to conduct the whole trial and then, once the trial is basically over, consider the question of evidence. That makes no sense. That's Alice in Wonderland logic.
Democrats say new reports have actually bolstered their requests for additional witnesses and documents. The latest include emails from a budget official that were reviewed by the national security blog Just Security.
The emails appear to link President Trump to the order to withhold military aid to Ukraine. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has consistently warned she won't hand over the articles of impeachment to the Senate until there are assurances for a fair trial.